which herb have you found useful for a condition that is different from what we commonly understand and accept as its healing property? And how did you use it? This is always a tricky question because I don't really know everything that everybody does, of course. So maybe lots of other people do use it this way. And because I'm a teacher and have been teaching for so long, some of my like weird uses are now a little more common in sort of the circles of my students, at least. And so I'm not 100% sure this is definitely super unique, but I use Eleuthero or Eleutherococcus sintacoccus as not just an adaptogen, which I actually use it as an adaptogen, I think, less than most folks, but also as an immune stimulant in acute situations. It actually has some research that puts it on par, close in proximity in terms of short-term immune stimulating effect with echinacea. And so I learned that when I was first kind of really exploring this plant to be able to teach about it. And so I started trying that out and found it to be quite useful in that regard. And it's helpful, you know, when you get multiple sort of actions out of a plant, obviously, as they all have, but, you know, oftentimes needing immune stimulation alongside of an adaptogenic effect is, you know, that's a common need. So for me, the main place that I've actually employed it is where folks have immunosuppression and otherwise are not experiencing a lot of ease around energy or feeling pretty maladaptive or kind of low capacity, not able to adapt to the level of need or sort of what's being required of them, not just immunologically, but in general, like stress and, you know, life responsibilities, etc. So Eleuthero can be lovely as a like less stimulating adaptogen, and by less I mean less than rhodiola, for example, or even schizandra. So it can kind of give a bit of support for folks, and I would always use that with more nourishing and building adaptogens and other similar plants if someone was really quite exhausted. But it can be supportive there where also a person keeps getting sick and needs something acute, you know, for acute support in the moment. So I use it actually in folks who are, you know, historically it would be kept getting the flu repeatedly or kept being, you know, having a cold. These days I'm using it where folks are seeing more frequent RSV, certainly COVID, of course. So just something, you know, to kind of pull out at the first sign of, I'm not sure what this is, but I'm having some symptoms. I might use it also sort of prophylactically. I'm not saying it's a preventive at all necessarily, but just to kind of keep immune function up. And I like that so that I'm not just always using echinacea for that purpose, as we all, you know, there's disagreement. Everyone has different opinions about whether echinacea can or should be used kind of consistently if it has some, you know, diminished returns in that regard. So I like Eleuthero a little better for kind of more long-term use or to weave in with other kind of immune stimulants. But the other place that I like it a lot, and that's actually paired with echinacea, is for tick bite. So folks worried about Lyme, as we all are here in the Northeast, and the co-infections. So at the sign of bite, as soon as it's tick's been removed, I'll start oral Eleuthero plus echinacea. And I usually put some licorice in there to make it taste less terrible, but it's actually not too bad. So that's my maybe unique-ish use for Eleuthero.